All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lava RPC Provider Town Hall. It is great to see you all and um, hang out with you for the next 45 minutes. My name is Justina. I am Developer Relations Engineer at Lava Foundation, and I will be your host today. I have a very exciting list of updates that I wanted to share with you. So this is what we are going to do throughout today's event. We are going to cover all of the latest ecosystem updates and the technical improvements that the Lava network team is working on. Also, this Lava RPC Provider Town Hall is the last one that we do in 2025. It's been an amazing year, quite an incredible ride for the Lava ecosystem, the entire Lava community. We have seen so many incredible things happening, from growth in the network and the traffic, and incredible collaborations that we had with other projects, incredible improvements to the network, incredible contributions from all of the network contributors and community members. So there is a lot to be very excited about. There is a lot to cover. And of course, there is so much to look forward to. So today's event will be a little bit of looking over what we have achieved in 2025, what's on the horizon in the upcoming year, and of course, all of the things that are important to the Lava RPC providers today. So I'm very excited about today's session, and I want to encourage everyone who are listening right now to be active participants of this event. So please use the chat function that is available to you. on YouTube and post all of your questions that you have, all of the suggestions and ideas that might come up as I speak. I will be constantly checking out the comment section and answering all of the questions. And I always really appreciate the feedback and input from everyone in the community. So, and also I make sure that this feedback is passed on to the wider Lava Network team. So please be interactive today and let's make this Provider Town Hall, the last one for the year 2025, really fun and exciting for everyone. So let's dive in. The agenda for today is very simple, but as I have said, we have a lot of things that I would like to share with you. So I will start with the ecosystem updates. I will cover things like what exciting things have happened in the 2025, what is the focus for the Lava Foundation going forward. Then I will talk about the important technical updates and things that the Lava team is focusing on right now. And after that, I will spend a little bit of time talking about the updates that the Lava Network team is doing to the scoring mechanism so that everyone is up to date with what we are planning. And that will be another great opportunity for everyone to jump in, provide feedback and your thoughts for what could maybe be done better and things like that. And of course, at the end, there will be some time for questions. So there might be a short Q&A, but I'm very happy when questions just come in as I speak. So you don't have to wait for the end of the event to share your questions. Drop them in the comment section as I speak, and I will definitely pick them up at the right time. So I will start with very exciting and great stats that I always do share at the beginning of the Lava RPC Provider Town Hall events. As of today, we have reached 167 billion RPC requests serviced across all of the leading chains that are supported on Lava Network. That includes both Lava Mainnet and Lava Testnet. And it's an incredible, incredible milestone. And I think we should all be very happy and excited about, because as I look back at the entire year in 2025, and even before that, it's very clear that the Lava Network is truly powered by the entire community and the ecosystem that participates. So none of these numbers would be here where they are today, and none of this would be possible without incredible Lava RPC providers who are running the infrastructure and serving the requests and all of this traffic. Also, none of this would be possible without incredible validators that we have who do incredible job to secure the network. None of this would be possible without all of the contributors that we have who are creating incredible content, making posts on social media, who are active in other communities and talk about Lava RPC. And also none of this would be possible without all of the community members who are part of our Discord server, who are part of Telegram channels, who are active on social media, who are constantly spreading the word about Lava, about Lava RPC, and are all contributing to our main goal, which is as simple as to make Lava RPC the best RPC out there. So I'm very excited and I'm very happy to see how the things have grown over time, and I really cannot wait to see what we can achieve in the year 2026. And all of this also leads to other really incredible things that we have seen over the year so far. And now Lava Network is entering a new phase, which we call the scale up. And what that means is that over the year 2025, we have seen a 5x usage growth across the entire network. And that resulted in Lava token being listed on top tier 1 exchanges like Kraken. And this is just the beginning. There is another very important milestone that we have just achieved. Lava is now also has the MiCA Title II clearance in the EU. And what does it mean and why is that important, right? So MiCA Title II is an important regulatory milestone, which enables Lava to be lawfully accessed, held, and also traded across all European Union member states. And what it does, it formalizes the role of Lava token in supporting Lava network's enterprise-grade RPC access layer. And it opens the door for new holders, new delegators, new node operators, and institutional partners across Europe and beyond. And since Lava token it's not a speculative token, it's a utility token which has a very important role in the Lava network, and it basically powers the whole thing, right? And all of the functions of different aspects of the protocol and how it works. So this milestone is extremely important for Lava and for Lava to be a really strong coordination token for the network's RPC routing layer. So we are very excited about that. And besides that, we also are very happy to share that throughout the 2025, Lava network has generated around $1 million in Lava pools. Those funds were distributed to RPC node providers for serving the data requests for all of the leading chains that are supported on Lava network. And all of this also enabled incredible collaborations with other projects in the blockchain ecosystem. We had incredible collaborations with ecosystems like Hedera, Union, Filecoin, Near, Arbitrum, and so many others. And through those collaborations and the pools that were available on the Lava network, Lava was able to offer all of these ecosystems public RPC access and enable developers in those ecosystems to build effectively and to stop worrying about their infrastructure and to really focus on building. So it's really incredible, and I can only stay as excited as I am right now for the next year, because we are going to focus on having even more collaborations like that and empower even more ecosystems out there and even more developers to build using Lava's ultra reliable RPC. And on top of that, we also had some really incredible achievements and milestones for the enterprise-grade RPC infrastructure. If you probably remember Smart Router, which we announced earlier this year, Smart Router is now available on the GCP marketplace. And what it does, it unlocks the next phase of the enterprise-grade RPC infrastructure and adoption. So we are very excited about that. And also, we are very excited about all of the other collaborations we have with projects beyond just the blockchain space. We had some really incredible collaborations with MIT. Their team is actually running the RPC provider nodes as well and using Lava RPC for their projects. So it's really great to see that. And we were also included to speak at NASDAQ events. So as you can see, there was so much that has happened in 2025. And I will probably take another 10 minutes to cover even more incredible things that we were able to achieve this year. But once again, all of this is due to incredible work from our community and all of the contributors. And now looking ahead, we are just excited as we were about 2025. In the upcoming year, we are going to really focus on the network growth and the usage. We already have 2 enterprise deals that are already signed, and those deals will bring around $120,000 directly into the pools, and they will be used to reward providers for servicing the data requests and also growing the network. So we are very excited about that. And in general, the Lava Foundation team will be focusing much more going forward on building the usage, bringing in more subscriptions and similar deals to the network, which will result in more rewards for RPC node providers and the network overall. So you will see definitely lots of news and updates on that side. Also, we are going to focus on improving the products as well that we have. So you will probably see some improvements on platforms like Lava RPC API and others, because we want to make it as easy as possible for everyone that needs access to RPC to get started with Lava RPC and also to get subscriptions. And another very important aspect that the Lava Foundation team will be focusing on in the upcoming year is transparency. If you remember, earlier this year, we introduced the Lava Assistance Fund, and we really want to double down on making sure that everything that we do at Lava and all of the improvements that we make, that includes the product improvements, the roadmap that we have, the things that we plan to improve or change, that it's available to everyone and it's transparent what we are planning. But also that applies to things like ecosystem inflows. So for example, whenever we have some funds coming into the ecosystem and things like that, or how these funds are being distributed, we want to make this as transparent as we possibly can. So you will see more updates on that from our side going forward. And that also transparency goal applies to things like community programs, delegations, how delegations are distributed, funds that we use, and things like that, so that you can very clearly see how those kind of programs are rolled out, how the decisions are being made, and who gets the delegations and why. So you will definitely see quite a lot of work being done on that side from the Lava Foundation team. And one of the things that actually relate to some of the things that I mentioned is the validator delegation program. I'm very excited to share that this program has been completed, although I guess the better word to complete it would be that it has been kicked off, because the validator delegation program is designed to be a continuous program. And what we did earlier this month was really kicking off this program. So as of now, this program has delegated 120 million Lava tokens to top 25 best performing validators based on primarily their performance. And we also distributed 47.75 million Lava tokens to a group of validators who also made very meaningful contributions to the network as part of the contribution-based delegation program track. And this thing that I mentioned about the program being continuous program is a very important aspect of this because the performance-based delegations will be updated every 21 days. This means that if some of the validators haven't received the delegation when we kicked off the program, or maybe some validators got less or more, all of these things will be updated every 21 days, which means that validators who maybe didn't receive any delegation, they can work on improving their validators' performance and they might become eligible for the delegation in the next redelegation round. So I'm very excited about that, and we got some really great feedback on the program and things like that. So we are going to take that into consideration in the upcoming updates. You can also expect some changes and improvements being made to the metrics that are being used to evaluate the validator performance. So all of these changes that we make and all of the improvements that we make will be reflected in the future, and we will definitely make sure to inform everyone about any updates and changes well ahead of time. Next, I would like to dive into some of the details regarding pools and rewards in the upcoming Lava Month. Once again, for context, Lava Month is a period between 17th of one month until the 17th of the next month. So we are nearing the 17th of December, which means that it will mark the end of the previous Lava Month and will start the new one. So some updates that you can expect to see in the upcoming month when it comes to pools and rewards. So first and foremost, the total amount of rewards that will be available to providers for servicing the data requests throughout that month. Currently estimated figure, which might change because there are some details that we are still figuring out, but the estimated value is around 649,000 lava tokens. You will likely see some adjustments to a few chains that includes Union, Filecoin, and Near, mainnet and testnet pools. The exact numbers and the exact changes that you will see, like what increased, what maybe decreased compared to the previous month, will become available and clear in upcoming days. As usual, I'm going to share the summary, the full list of all of the chains and all of the pools that and the amounts that will be available for every single chain as we get closer to the 17th of December. Those details will be posted on Telegram, and also I will post it on Discord as well, so you will know exactly the amounts for these chains. But for context, why some of these changes happen is that we constantly monitor the usage of the chains, but primarily the changes happen when some foundations that use Lava Public RPC. Sometimes they make decisions to focus on other things. They deprioritize preference for public RPC. And for example, this is why rewards for Union might change in the coming month. But again, we will have more details about that in the upcoming days. So I will make sure that you know exactly how much will be in all of these pools. All right, so these were all of the technical, all of the ecosystem updates that I had. Now I would like to dive into the technical updates. I don't have that many, but a few that you should be aware of. So the first one is that just about a week ago or something like that, we had the Lava testnet proposal number 338. So with this proposal, we introduced the implementation of the stake move lock mechanism, which basically adds the time frame for when a provider cannot move their self-stake from one chain to another. This implementation is currently on the Lava testnet alongside another improvement for updating the default provider commission to 75%. This means that when a new provider sets up their provider processes, and if they keep all of the default values, their commission will be automatically set to 75%. Existing providers can also make changes to their commission, of course, and also bring it up to this level, for example. But this is the change that was already added right now. And we are preparing for the mainnet proposal, and it should be coming in the next 2 weeks. You should also be aware of and prepare for upcoming Lava P version update. I posted about it on Discord a few weeks ago so that everyone is aware. There are a few additional details that we have to flesh out on the engineering level. So this proposal is still upcoming, but likely the Lava P upgrade proposal will come in the next 2 weeks alongside a proposal to implement all of these changes that I just covered on the Lava mainnet as well. Besides the proposals, there are also quite a few things that our technical team is working on when it comes to feature implementations, and I have covered these features in every previous town hall as well. These are very important updates because they have a very significant impact on the Lava network and how everything works, but also because all of these improvements and implementations are driven by the feedback that we received from the Lava RPC providers and validators and other contributors. So I want to make sure that you are all always up to date with where those implementations are. So the stake lock mechanism, which I just covered, is on the Lava testnet already. The mainnet proposal should be coming in the next 2 weeks time. Memory leak issue, which means that there is an issue that causes Lava mainnet nodes, especially archival nodes, to use more resources than it should. Still in progress, we have a team that is very actively working on the potential implementations for fixing the problem. This issue is still very much work in progress. Hopefully, definitely by the next Lava RPC provider town hall, I will have some implementation of this as well. And the third feature that the team is working on is the provider scoring mechanism. So this implementation is very important, and it's currently in an active testing phase, and we are preparing for a testnet proposal as well. I don't have an exact ETA exactly when this will be on Lava testnet. I would like to see that proposal coming up in the next 2 weeks as well. But we will see. Of course, there are quite a lot of things to test and evaluate, and to really understand the impact that it will have on the Lava RPC providers and other ecosystem participants. But that also leaves a little bit more time for everyone to provide their input and provide feedback. So it's still very much welcome. All right, so now I would like to switch the gears a little bit and do a little deep dive into the provider scoring mechanism updates. If you are part of the Lava RPC provider ecosystem, you probably have seen quite a lot of details about this already, because about a week ago I shared, or maybe it was 2 weeks by now, I shared the written overview of the improvements that are being proposed. But I want to also make sure that everyone is definitely aware of this and have seen what we are planning to implement. And this is where I would really like to encourage everyone to provide any feedback that you have. We already received some of the feedback, and it is being looked into by our technical team, and it will definitely be taken into consideration before the testnet proposal. But yeah, so I would like to quickly go through it, and any questions or feedback that you might have, you can drop it right in the comments right now, or reach out to me after the session and also share your thoughts. It would be extremely, extremely useful for us, because sometimes we might not be thinking about something that is actually extremely important, some kind of very important aspect that might affect network participants in one way or another. So definitely more people who can think of the impact and the implementation pros and cons of this, the more the better, and the more opinions, the better it is, and we can make better improvements there. All right, so why are we doing this and what is actually changing? So the team is working on updating the provider scoring mechanism, which is the core engine which routes the traffic to selected providers every single epoch. So one epoch is about 15 minutes time period. It's a very important part of the Lava protocol implementation because the scoring mechanism that is being used to pick which provider should be serving the incoming traffic is affected by those scores and evaluations, and it directly impacts the odds for one provider to be chosen over another. And we got a lot of feedback from our RPC providers already on the old implementation of the scoring mechanism. And the main feedback was that stake has way too much weight when it comes to the pairing. And after a lot of evaluation, we, of course, wanted to make sure that this feedback is addressed and we make necessary improvements. And with these changes, we are aiming to make the system more fair, less biased towards stake, and to make sure that the way Lava protocol and all of the mechanisms are implemented, that it favors better performance and better and higher standards for quality of service. So this is really our goal. So how the old system works and what are the problems with the old system. So the old system, which currently is effective and drives the provider selection, is a tier-based selection. It's basically a two-step process. At first, providers are grouped into tiers based on their performance, which most of you are quite familiar with. So that includes latency, freshness, and availability. And then a specific tier is selected probabilistically. Very important details to understand about how that works and what the main caveats about this system are is that the probability for the tier 0, which is let's call it the best tier, so providers with the best performance are, has the 75% probability to be picked out. All the other tiers split the remaining 25% chances, and the last tier gets 0% chance. So as you can see, there is a very big cutoff when it comes to chances for the tier to be picked based on which tier that is. And after that, when the tier is selected, a provider within a specific tier is picked based on their stake weight. So what are the main problems with the system? So first of all, you can see that old system had these rigid buckets with a very significant cutoff when it comes to the mathematical chances for a specific tier to be picked out. So this means that near miss tier 0 providers can lose most of the traffic. Like if you are pretty good provider and your performance was very close to making it to tier 0, but you didn't, your chances to get traffic drop significantly because only 25% of traffic goes beyond tier 0. Those providers who barely made it to tier 0 but have very high stake can dominate traffic because a provider within the tier is chosen based on their stake. And also, this system and the way it was implemented is quite inflexible. It's difficult to make updates to and so on. So overall, it caused quite a lot of problems for both the ecosystem, but also our team to make changes. And it was quite unfair when it comes to the traffic distribution because the traffic would always go to the best tier, but also then within the tier, the provider who maybe didn't have the best performance but had the higher stake would have the best chances to service the traffic. So with all of the feedback that we received, of course, we wanted to improve that. So this is what we now have with the new scoring mechanism, and I would like to go over the changes that are being planned to be implemented to make the improvements. So in the new system, which is not yet implemented, again, it's in an active testing phase. Forget the tiers. Tiers will be gone. Each provider will be assigned a score, which will be calculated based on 4 very simple and probably very familiar metrics: availability, latency, sync freshness, and stake, which will be a new metric. And all of these metrics will have a specific weight. The numbers that you currently see on the screen are primary numbers that our team is considering. So for example, if you see stake right now would have 10% weight for the overall score. And to be able to compare providers easily and to use the score effectively, it will be normalized on the scale from 0 to 1. What will this type of implementation for calculating the score for every single provider will enable us is to also make changes to these weights and scores depending on feedback, depending on what we see, what kind of impact it has on the overall network. And it will be quite easy to make those changes because all we will have to do is to tweak the weights. So after calculating the scores for every single provider, the system will then perform the continuous probability draw. It's going to use a fairly simple algorithm, which I will quickly go through. It will be used to determine which providers will be picked over the others and what are the odds for a specific provider to be picked to service the traffic. I would like to use a very simple example here because hopefully that will make it easy to understand the core idea behind it. So let's take 5 providers that we have on a list. We have providers from A to provider E, and let's say they all have different scores that are already calculated using the weighted metrics, and they are normalized on the scale from 0 to 1. So let's say we have the provider A with performance score of 0.95 and provider E has the score of 0.2. And also pay attention that all of these providers have different stake. Let's say provider B has the highest stake, provider D has the lowest. And what the system will do, first, it will calculate the overall total score, which is simply a sum of all of the individual provider scores. In this very specific example, the overall total score is 2.95, which is simply a sum of all of the individual scores. In the second step, the algorithm will generate a random value between 0 and 2.95. It can be any value at all, completely random. Let's say in this example, the value is 0.3. And the last step that the algorithm will do, it will iterate through the providers one after another, starting with the best one and then going down the list and calculating cumulative sum of the scores for the providers and comparing it to the random value that was generated. As long as the value, the cumulative sum of the scores is lower than the random generated value, the algorithm will keep doing the iterations and look for the provider that exceeds the random value that was generated. So what does it mean? So the algorithm will start with the first provider, provider A. Their score is 0.95. The value, random value that was generated was 1.3. So this value is lower than the random generated value, which means that provider A will not be selected. There will be another iteration, and then the algorithm will look at provider B, but it will calculate the cumulative score of first provider plus provider B. So the sum is 1.75, which already exceeds the random value that was generated, and therefore the provider B will be selected. So why does this work? There are all of these values, random values, and so on. The scores that each provider will have based on their performance, and all of these weighted metrics that we will calculate represent the share of the total score. And it basically represents the odds for a specific provider to be picked and service the traffic. I also have visual representation of this, which maybe will be easier for people who are more visual like me to understand such concepts. So if we put all of the scores of all of the providers that we have in one line, and then mark the what slice each provider occupies on this entire line, we will see that provider A, B, and C, which are the best providers, they occupy a pretty big chunk of this line, meaning that the best providers have the highest chance to be picked mathematically, but it still leaves enough mathematical chances for other providers like D and E to be picked, because of course the random value generated might be, let's say, 2.6 or any other value depending on all of the total scores and providers that are in a list. So this means that the higher the score, the bigger portion of the total the provider will take over, and they will have the bigger odds to be picked and service the traffic. What does this mean to the RPC node providers? The most important part. So this means that traffic probability is directly proportional to the provider score. And because the provider score is calculated using the weighted metrics, which once again include availability, latency, sync, and there is also stake weighted value, any type of improvement to performance metrics, latency, availability, and freshness will directly and always increase the odds. So this makes it easier for all of the providers to continuously improve their provider processes and also immediately see the results to the traffic that they get to service. This also means that high performers still get the most traffic because of the mathematical odds of the algorithm. But this also still leaves some space for lower performing providers to get the traffic, to get enough traffic to generate all of the metrics, performance metrics, and also continuously improve from then on. So we really hope that these kind of improvements will be positive on the overall provider ecosystem, and it will also contribute to the overall quality improvements for the RPC on Lava. And the core advantages of the new system, to summarize everything, is that it's lightweight and it's very flexible, and it will make it easier for our team to make necessary tweaks. As I have mentioned, the weights that I showed earlier, they are primary numbers that we are currently testing out. But if we get feedback or if we see that some values should be different, of course, we will be able to make those changes very quickly and very effectively, because this kind of system is much easier to update. It will also provide more transparency for all of the providers, how scores are calculated, why certain changes to their provider performance is reflective in the traffic that they get to service in one way or another. We're also going to make sure that all of these scores are accessible to all of you, so that you can see how everything looks like under the hood as you service the traffic. And most importantly is that it encourages continuous improvements and still favors the best quality of service out there, so that top performers can really shine and service as much traffic as possible. But also it gives a lot of chances for lower performers to participate and service the traffic as well and improve as they go. And also another important thing that I would like to mention is that I believe that with this kind of system, it should be much easier for new providers to join the network and get started, because stake will have much less significance on the pairing, and that means that new providers or smaller providers, I should say, who maybe don't have as much stake but really great performance, they can very much also shine just as bright as other providers who have much more significant stake. So this is the overview. I did share the written overview of these changes as well on Telegram. So with this, I would like to really encourage everyone to provide feedback, what you think, maybe something that we forgot to consider and should really take into the consideration. Please share your feedback. It's extremely, extremely valuable for us and helps us to make the right decisions and make sure that we make these implementations and design them in the best way possible. And you can provide feedback directly on Telegram, on Discord. You can send them to me directly as well. And I will definitely make sure that it reaches our technical team, and we take it into consideration before proposals go on testnet and mainnet and beyond. So I think that's all I had in terms of updates. I will quickly check the chat. From Live Raven, I think I'll answer this last question, which I think is the most important one. Is the team running simulations of the system? The answer is yes. This is why overall implementation of these changes have taken quite a bit of time, because we want to make sure that we not only propose the good system, but also that we understand the impact on the traffic distribution and effect that it will have on the providers. So we are running simulations on that as we speak. And so far, everything looks very promising. If there are some specific aspects that you might think that we should test as well, shoot the message to me, and we will definitely run those tests as well. So it's for sure very, very important. So I think that is all. There was also another question about Lava Fox NFT. I personally don't have any updates on that. I will check if there is anything that we are planning to do with that for the upcoming year. So far, I don't have anything that I could share regarding that, but I will definitely follow up on that in the next town hall or on Discord. All right, so I think I will finish it here. Thank you so much for joining. I am so excited about what's to come. The next Lava RPC provider town hall will happen in the year 2026. So we're going to kick it off in January. So thank you so much for joining, for all of your questions and comments. And I will be talking to you in the next Lava RPC provider town hall. So thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.